G'day. So we're out here with William, and we're just going through some groundwork with him. He's had a few days off because we've had some pretty bad weather and not been able to find much time around the shoeing and the rain to be able to get much done with him. So he's had a few days off, and I thought he might come back a little bit fresh, and he sort of has. But we've been mucking around here for a few minutes, and I've just thought I'd make a little video here of sort of where he's at and what we're working on. So one of these things that I'm working on with him is because he's pretty avoidant in this arena. He's pretty avoidant of that gate and the banner on the gate and this fence. And I don't know really if it's so much the fence and the gate itself as, you know, there's other horses over there. There's stuff out there. It's a big open space, and he seems to be looking out over that fence there, sort of concerned about what's out there, or what, you know, or wanting to be out there, even thinking that maybe that's the getting out there would be the place to be where he'd find some comfort. So I'm working on him a little bit here, because he's showing me that he can be a little bit reactive to this part of the arena. So I want him to work and learn to focus on me here and then get some rest here. So I'm going to send him off, and we'll do a C pattern down to the corner here. He's pretty nice and soft there on that lead. I'm not having to do a whole lot to yield that hind quarter and send him on again. He's drawing that shoulder through pretty nice. Tossing his head a little bit more than I'd like. He's getting a little bit anxious about the way he steps sometimes, and he'll sort of slip and stumble a little here and there. But this is just all part of being a green horse. At the end of the day, he's a 4-year-old in a 9-year-old's body. He's not really been advanced in his training beyond that point, so just sort of got to give him a little bit of leeway here and there. So I'll let him do some circles here, because he got a little bit upset changing directions there in this corner. So I'll let him do some circles here, and then I'll change directions again. Good. And then we'll go back up the fence in the C pattern. Let him find resistance, let him find the end of that lead, and eventually he'll get to where he knows he's going to come to the end of that lead, and he'll be looking for it there. That was really nice and soft. He didn't really bump on me there. And so I'm just walking a straight line up the fence here. It's up to him to sort himself out, and I'm giving him guidance, but if he finds tension in that lead and gets bumped on, or he plays around like that, then I'm going to bump on him. I'm going to make that hard for him, and I'll send him on again. So I'm not going to let him play around and be a bit of a twat like that. I'm going to bump on him there. He's playing around now. I'm going to bump on him again. I'm going to let him know that playing up and jumping around like a twat, that's not okay. Now he's relaxing in his gait a little. I'm going to give him a rest there. I'm going to let him know and draw him in. I'm going to let him know that that's the right thing to do. Stop playing around, do what I'm asking, and no more. I'll send him on again. Yield a hind quarter, draw the shoulder through. Yield a hind quarter. He's wanting to play around, be a twat. I'll bump on him a bit, bump on him again. So I'm going to do a lot of change the direction now. Bump on him. He wanted to pull on me there. He wanted to drag me through that corner and try and beat me. So I'm going to bump on him there. So I'm going away from the C pattern now. I'm working on changes of direction. I'm getting him soft on that lead again, making him yield his hind quarter correctly. I'm not letting him try to beat me. I'm not letting him get away with trying to play around and do his own thing. I'm telling him that he needs to focus on me, or it's going to get hard for him. The easy thing to do is focus on me. This is the cool deal. Focus on me and do the right thing. So I know he knows how to do this, so I'm not going to be real friendly about it when he's telling me that he wants to play around and do his own thing. Much better there. And so we're in this corner now. We'll do a couple of circles. He's on a nice loose line there. He's counterbending slightly there when he gets to that banner there. He wanted to avoid that banner, so I'm going to yield his hind quarter, draw him through, send him back. Again, counter bend, wanting to avoid it, wanting to step into me a little. Again, I'm going to keep sending him back until he relaxes there. I'm going to close that gap down more. I'm going to make it even harder for him, going to make it even scarier for him until he relaxes himself there. So I want him to come through here at a walk. I'm not providing any impulsion other than my point. I'm just pointing with the line, the direction I want him to go. See, he's refusing me there, so I'll increase impulsion slightly. See, he's wanting to speed up and run through it. He doesn't want to go through it nice and relaxed. So I'm giving him an opportunity to go through soft and relaxed without impulsion. When he wants to avoid, that's a little better. I want a little bit more relaxed than that. He was still a bit anxious about the way he walked through there. That's nice and relaxed. Yield the hind quarter there and give him a rest with his attention here, with his nose facing in. That's good. And so I was expecting him to be a little bit fresh, and you know, he's shown me a few minutes of real good stuff before I started the video. And I started the video and he decided he wanted to play up. So but it's actually cool that we get that on video and we can see the sort of stuff that goes on and how to work through it. And you know, you don't have to get up him and sort of hustle him and chase after him and chastise him for playing around like that. I'll just bump on that lead and say, hey, redirect your thoughts, come back to me, come back to me. As long as your thoughts are here, you're focused on me, things are going to be pretty easy on you. You know, we'll get a rest a lot sooner. But if you want to get distracted and let your thoughts wander and start ignoring me, trying to beat me around corners, trying to pull on me and all those sorts of things, then it's going to get hard on you. You know, there's an easy way and there's a hard way. There's a good deal and a bad deal. And, you know, I'd much rather you do the good deal, kid. And that's what we've got to teach them, you know, where the good deal is. The other thing I've been working on him with him a little bit this week is side passing on the fence. He's had some trouble under saddle coming off my legs, and so I went back to the ground to work on this just to help him understand what to do when the pressure comes from his rib cage, from the middle of his rib cage. And so I'm going to send him on here and send him straight into the fence. So I'm about half a metre off the fence. I'm going to send him into the fence, use my hands to indicate there, bump on his nose when he's wanting to take his nose away from me. There, good. That's real nice. Well done, kid. So I'm using my hands here. You can do it with a stick too, like one of those carrot sticks, the old Pirelli stick, or a flag. And you know, you can sort of direct the energy of the flag or the stick at the rib cage, and if the shoulder lags behind or the hip lags behind, you can change where you're directing that energy. I like to do it like this with two hands, and shoulder, hip, and I find it works pretty good like that. Certainly works well like that with him. He'd probably get a little bit overreactive with the flag. So what I'm going to do with him here now is I want to do one more this way, and then I'll do a couple the other way. So I'm going to direct him back to the fence. Push that shoulder away. Good. Shoulder away, shoulder away. Now shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. As long as he's pulling his nose away from me, I'm going to bump on him. I want to get a couple of steps. He wanted to back away there. Direct him back to the fence. I want to get a couple of steps where he's not... There, that's a little better. I just didn't want him pulling on my left hand there, trying to pull that lead out of my hand. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Well done, kid. I'll send him back around here. And when he gets to the fence, both hands up. Shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. He wants to back off, direct him back to the fence. Shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. Good. He stepped on himself a little bit there. They're going to do that now and then while they're figuring out where to put their feet. I'll direct him back to the fence again. Push that shoulder away. Directing him to the fence, pointing at the fence, pushing the shoulder away. Brings his shoulder through there. Shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. He wants to back up. Put him back on the fence. Shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. Good. So we just got to pick our spots to quit there. Like every couple of steps there, he's wanting to back away, and so I had to put him back on the fence to get it correct again. And so we're not teaching him to back out of it. We're teaching him to come off the pressure in a true and correct way. And he's doing pretty good at that. We'll get the bridle on him and get riding and practice it under saddle.